Okay, happy Thursday. Those who are new to the Discord, welcome. Welcome to the community. I appreciate the love and support. I will, after today's trading session, I will send you a DM of a PDF that I want you to fill out, just so I can help you, with your personal trading. So just be on the lookout for this after today's session. Now, let's get into it. Close watch list going into market open. So yesterday was a beautiful day, right? We went long on Apple. We understood market structure. We were patient, and everything that we pretty much said what happened happened. This beautiful market structure. So what do I mean by that? Yesterday was just a pullback long day. We're trending to the upside. So when the market's pulling back and we have a quote unquote red day, that's healthy, right? We're pulling back. So what do you notice here? Yeah, we had a pullback here on SPY yesterday, and look at us now, right? That's healthy. We're sitting well above the previous day high. That's textbook. We want to see this continue higher, getting over all-time highs. It's 100% normal, right? Let's go here on the daily. Look at that. Look at that. This candle almost closed green. Look at this wick. That shows you how aggressively buyers stepped up here at 685. Clean market structure, stair stepping higher. And now we're sitting up here. This is exactly what we want to see coming into today. So this is beautiful here on the SPY. QQQ. Now, you guys can hear me say this forever. I emphasized on this yesterday. We got to get out of this channel. We have to get out of this channel. We've been stuck in between 629 and 617. Now, sorry, 617. Now, it's been respecting 617 beautifully. Every time we pull back to the bottom of the range, buyers step up and push this thing higher. Today's a big day, right? Because not only that, let's go here, 15-minute. Same thing here. Yesterday was just a pullback day. We pulled back, we pulled back. Now look at us. This is healthy market structure. We're bullish bias. We're sitting well above the previous day high. Now, if we do pull back a little bit during market open, we can't be too surprised because it has to fill this gap. This is a big deal. Like I've been saying forever, this is our last key level before we see all-time highs here on the Qs. This is our last key level. Now, we have to be patient because on Monday, we did very good holding our water. And was it Monday or was it, give me one sec. No, it was Tuesday. Yeah, today's Thursday. Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah. So on Tuesday, we did really good holding our water because we avoided a couple of fake outs on some individual tech names. Because even though they set up on a technical standpoint, we got a break and retest, we skipped those trades. Why? Like I always said, I'm not going to go long on a name when the overall market is pushing into a key weekly resistance level because I already know why I lost if I lose that trade. And lo and behold, a lot of those names fell. So that we ended up avoided getting faked out. So right, that was beautiful. Today, right, this is a big deal. Let's see if we can finally get over 629.05. If we can finally get over that. Let's go here on the daily one more time. I've been talking about this forever. We haven't been above this since Halloween, right? Yeah, since Halloween. So every time we push up here, look at that. Every single time. This is a big deal. So it's either two things that's going to happen here, like I said before. Either we're just going to have a super big breakout because there's so much built up liquidity. We're going to have a peak and fail, or we're going to get our break and retest, one or the other. Sorry, those three things. Tesla. So, like I said, Tesla, we're bullish bias on this name. Yesterday was just a pullback day. It was just a pullback day. Look what happened. Look at our key level being respected during the pre-market. I'm looking for a pullback long here off of 440.40. That's the main watch. One of the main watches here. Pullback long off of 440.40. NVIDIA, 184. We've already taken two trades off this key level. This has been our key level for the week, making our job easy. Set up beautifully, right? 2 days ago, yesterday, we were under it. Today, looking for a pullback long off of 184.40. This is a big deal, right? I love the confluence here because it's also the previous day high. If we don't get it, so be it. But we're looking for this. We're looking for this. Pull back long, 184.50. That's such a key level here. It's a weekly level. All right, we're moving higher. We're trending higher. We just got to be patient. So that's a close watch here. I'm not going to take Apple. I've already explained why. And then this is a big deal here on AMD, right? Pull back long off of 225. That's what we're looking for. We're now bullish bias above this, right? I took this trade maybe, 3 weeks ago? It was a winning trade. I haven't touched it since. Why? Because we let our trades come to us. AMD has just been stuck in a channel. So haven't been looking to take this trade or touch this name. It's been doing all that. We ignored all that noise. So we have to be patient here and let this pullback occur, right? We did gap out, so we could pull back and fill the gap. And then on the 5th of this month, we had a peak and fail. This is why you don't trade breakouts because, right, it looked promising. It looked good. We got to the top of the range. We rejected, right? We got to the top of the range here. We rejected. So it's been a while since we've had buyers step up and defend this. So we have to be patient, right? I'm not going to wag my tail yet because it's already shown me twice. It can break out of 225, but what it hasn't shown me is can it hold, right? Can it hold? So we just got to be patient here, right? This is a play where patient plays, right? We may not get that today. It may be so strong at open, we got to wait a couple of days for the pullback. We won't know until we know. If it does stay strong and it does rip to the upside, that's fine. Then I'm just looking for a break and retest over 234.65 because now we're bullish bias. But this is a pretty big gap here. This is a pretty big gap. We gapped up tremendously. We haven't retested this during pre-market. So this is really my main watch coming into market open. Pullback long, 225. So main three that we're going to focus on is Tesla over 440.40, NVIDIA pullback long off of 184.50, and then AMD pullback long off of 225. Nothing on Apple for me. I know, dude. I study these so much. I know my levels by heart. I know, I know. Okay. Market opens in 5 minutes, so I will see you guys then. Okay, we got about 1 minute here until market opens. Remember, folks, patience pays. We do not let FOMO kick in. See, the only thing that I am being cautious about is I'm sorry, Q's is at the top of the range. That's the only thing. It is at the top of the range. So if it rejects this weekly, right? If it rejects this weekly, this 629.05, I feel like we could see a ripple effect again happen there. One known to we know. Probably too early to tell anyway. Okay, so a lot of these names, very strong open. Obviously Tesla. Tesla just took out the previous day high. NVIDIA is pushing to the upside. A lot of gaps this morning, actually, on NVIDIA, AMD, and the overall market. So, like I always say, for me, these are just plays that's setting up. Because if they don't set up today, I'm just looking for it tomorrow or Monday. But eventually, they have to fill these gaps and come in and retest. So, very strong open here on Tesla. See, very strong open. AMD is at 231. We would need that actually, not really. If this thing wants to stay strong, we could play the break and retest over 234. So it's gonna be patient here. Oh, actually, hold on. Because it was such a big gap up, I'm gonna be a little patient on AMD because since we had such a big gap up, the IV is not through the roof, but its average IV is kind of like mid 50s. So if the IV is too high on that, I might skip it, but market just opened. So let me see if this can cool off a little bit. The IV is not like shocking high, but that's something you want to be mindful of. There is relative strength on pretty much all of our tech names compared to the overall market. SPY and Qs is pulling back. So yeah, this is a big gap. All this is a gap, so we need this pullback here. NVIDIA gapped up as well. Tesla's strong. We just need pullbacks to a lot of these key levels, though. But very big volatile open on a lot of these tech names. Like I said, if none of these set up today, I just see them as like opportunities to set up tomorrow or Monday. A lot of big plays here, though. A lot of big plays. But you can see how volatile market open is for a lot of these names. You know. See, Tesla, on a technical standpoint, it did retest this during pre-market. And look at these candles, just a perfect base above our key level. And then we open to the upside. So that's Tesla, right? Look at that. That's beautiful. That's clean market structure. Flirting with this. So let's see if we can get a pullback, or if Tesla just wants to stay so strong, it can do that. Like I said, the only thing that kind of concerned me a little bit was Q's being at the top of the range, right? It's at the top of the range. We remember this happening 2 days ago where we were at the top of the range, and then that pretty much just led to, right, just a rejection. So, so I want to see if Q's can just stay strong, right? We got to get out of this channel on Q's. Like I said, we did gap up. So this would be, right, if this thing wants to pull back, fill the gap, continue higher, that is normal. That's 100% normal. So I'm watching AMD. It is showing relative strength compared to the overall market. These are the type of reactions I want to see at my key level before I even get it set up. Tells me I did my job. I found a key level being respected on the dot. So big wicks, big candles, we kind of stay away from. Um, it's just very risky, very volatile. Market just opened, so let's just let this develop a little bit. Like I said, if the market wants to pull back here on this 5 in the Qs, it's 100% normal because we gapped up. So it has to restore its balance. Like this is the previous day high here on SPY, and look where we're at. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of a dip and rip at market open on a couple of these names. And Nvidia's gapped up as well. I kind of don't like that Tesla already took out the previous day's high. I would have preferred we got that, this pullback before it did that, but so be it. You can see the first 15-minute on this name is very strong, very, very strong. Tesla's really the only tech name that did not gap up. NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA opened here. So all of this is all a gap on NVIDIA. That's all a gap. Let's see. I am watching AMD. Let me see. Opened at 227. Almost a $7 move. That's a pretty big move on AMD on the intraday. Yeah, AMD's sitting at 232. Buyers are trying to hold up. We got some ways to go though to get back down to 225. Like I said in the pre-market plan video coming into open, the one thing about AMD that I'm not really wagging my tail about is we've done this before, right? Which is a peak and fail. So on the 5th of this month, we already broke above this, but we never held. And then you can see that led to that. We've done this 2 times now on AMD. So getting above 225 isn't a problem, but I need buyers to show me, hey, now we've taken over this level, right? This already happened. All we got to do is look left. This happened on the 5th. Same thing's kind of setting up right now. So that's why it's important we kind of just wait for this retest. If we get a break and retest over 234, we're basically playing a gap and go play. And see, not a single up close candle on the Qs. Not a single up close candle on the Qs. Not surprised. Like I said, we're at the top of the range. If Tesla sets up, guys, I would be looking at the 440 calls. It's a Thursday, so I'm only playing at the money. 440 calls on Tesla. Pre-market plan is pullback long off of 440.40. So I am looking at Tesla right now on this pullback. Looking for that. And the video is strong. AMD's stalling a little bit. This already has such a big move. See how the IVs went up a little bit on AMD? Now it's almost at 70. It was just at 65. So if that starts to get a little too elevated and this does set up, I might skip it. I want to see if this thing can pull back deeper and hopefully that causes a little bit of a cool off. So when the IV's high, can't be surprised because everyone and their mom is looking at AMD now because this thing is just right. It's been on a crazy rip, right? It's breaking outside of a channel, so it's expected to go higher. So we can't expect free money if that makes sense. So that's why the IV is just going to be high, right? This is the last 4 or 5 days on AMD, which is crazy. Now, like I said, we've seen this before. We've seen this before. History likes to repeat itself. So AMD has pushed up into 234.65 on the dot, and we've rejected, right? So will this be a peak and fail? That's why we have to wait for this retest. And then you can see here, like I said, this is a gap fill. Sellers are stepping in very aggressively here. So just got to hold our water, be patient. I'm still looking at the 440 calls here on I'm sorry, on Tesla. Hmm. Just need a deeper pullback here on Tesla. Relative strength on NVIDIA, obviously, but that's pretty much a gap and go. It's nowhere near a key level. Tesla's really the main watch right now. It's a Thursday, so I definitely need a deeper pullback here. SPY's the heaviest to the downside. Like I said, I'm looking at the 440 calls at the money cons, at the money cons. Gotta hold our water here. So even though we're seeing buyers step up here, our stop loss would have to be under 440.40. That's a big stop loss taking this trade here. So it could just be a low day bounce, but right, we're risk managers before traders, so we've got to wait for that. Yeah, I trust this level. I just need this to pull back. I see strong buyers show their hands. We're starting to see a little bit of a curl, V-shaped recovery here on Qs. SPY has the crappiest price action, but we just had a big candle pop to the upside. Didn't get a deep enough pullback here on Tesla yet, right? You take this trade here, your stop loss is a candle close under here. That's a very big stop loss, especially on a Thursday. So it's got to be patient. Okay, so AMD, IV came down a little bit. That's good. Seeing this V-shaped recovery here on Qs, breaking through the high a day. Looks super solid. I do like Tesla more than AMD, just because Tesla's not extended. I know that for a fact. On average, Tesla can move 15 to $20 in a day. We've only moved like roughly 4 to 5. So AMD's already moved like $7 plus. Yeah, big rejection here on the Qs. This is what's making this a little tricky. Is Qs just is rejecting the top of this range. It's having a tough time again. Key level being respected on the dot here on AMD. So that's something I would love to see. Like if this continues to just be resistance, and then we get a break and turn this into support. And then if these candles don't clean up here on Tesla, no matter what I trade, they're going to be at the money cons because it's a Thursday. I'm not even looking at AMD until we get proper displacement on this name. Price action doesn't look too well on Tesla. It is holding this level. It is holding this level. Yeah. Like I said, sometimes there's nothing you can do if you get that retest during the pre-market. That was like beautiful. That was the retest we based and then we shot. We pulled back just now, but not deep enough. Right? Difference between missing a trade and skipping a trade. As we know, Tesla contracts can hurt. So I am watching AMD. I just need way more displacement here before I even attempt to go long on this name. Yeah. At the money cons look great here. 235s on AMD. I just got to wait for this thing to give me some more displacement. All right, guys, I'm looking at AMD. 235 calls here. Tesla played out really well. We just didn't get a deep enough pullback. So now we just need to see a retest here on AMD. Just got to be very patient here. Remember, the bigger the displacement, the better. The bigger the displacement, the better. Because if we take like this instant retest, we're basically playing momentum. I don't necessarily want that. I want like a swing high to be able to target and see if that can turn into a support level. So Q's is pulling back. AMD's strong. All our tech names are strong, actually. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at AMD. 235 calls at the money. Market's pulling back very heavy right now. Spot Q's and SPY is breaking through the low a day. So context matters here. You're starting to see that in NVIDIA and Tesla. You have very big sell-off right now on the market, or big pullback, I should say. Like I said, that it's 100% normal. QQQ and SPY gapped up tremendously. So, like I said, pre-market, if the market just wants to pull back, it's just filling the gap. It's just filling the gap. Gotta hold your water, guys. Be patient. The bigger the breakout here on AMD, the better. Trust me, that it works in our favor. So we can't let FOMO kick in here. I want this thing to break out even more, actually. High day, 236, 36. All right, we've had basically $1.80 breakout here on AMD, which for AMD is pretty solid. If we can get like a $2 breakout, sure. I'm being a little cautious because I know the average dollar amount it moves in a day should be fine since we're playing at the money cons. I just don't want us to be a little too extended. NVIDIA is pretty much in no man's land. It's nowhere near key level. It gapped up pretty big, so just waiting for this on AMD. There's relative strength here on this name compared to the market. So that I like. As of right now, NVIDIA is pulling back with the market. Like even though SPY doesn't look that good, it's still very bullish on the day. Intraday right now looks not good at all, but I mean this thing gapped up pretty big to the top of the range, so we're sitting well above the previous day high. Tesla wants to be nice and give us a pullback here, right? That's still in play. The main two watches right now is Tesla and AMD. Mainly AMD. I'm just waiting for that. If we get it. I do like that QQQ is making lower lows and AMD is moving higher. Right? Look at Q's. Stair stepping lower. Look at AMD. Need this candle to close. I need to pull back. 235 calls, guys, on AMD. Just being patient here. I need this pullback to be a little bit deeper. Can't let FOMO kick in. Hmm. If we get this from 234 to 2 to the high day, it's pretty solid. I like that the candle closed up here too. That's not a wick. It's got to be patient just because the overall market's pulling back. That's like my main thing. If I have the market ripping in my favor, I'm comfortable taking a long entry, risking right under 234. But remember, the deeper the pullback, the tighter the risk. And then we can't forget, I'm sorry, Q's is still in a channel. It's still in a channel. So if this thing wants to just start to sit sideways, we can't be too surprised. I'm just looking for that. See if we can see strong buyers step up here. Guys, contracts are 232.50 now because those are at the money. I'm not looking to play out the money. So I'm at the money cons here. I'm sorry, 232.50 calls here on AMD. All right, I'm long AMD. Yeah. See if we can get to this. Nice. Very nice. Very nice pop here, guys. Scale accordingly. Nice. If we reject this, I'm out of these. All right, I'm out there, guys. I'm sorry, I know that was a quick scout, but we were just pushing to the high day. We were just pushing to the high day, rejecting that. We'll see if this can hold. Those contracts move very well. Did you guys catch that? I'm sorry, I know that was quick. This thing's still holding now. Is anyone able to catch that? I hope so. Sorry, no. I know that was quick, bro. If this thing's still holding, let's see. You want to see this. Remember, wait till the damaged body tells the story. So as soon as we got that push into that, it's a great trade. I mean, that was the retest. That's the only downside is this thing pretty much right there. That was the retest. I want to see that do that. But once it rejects and we're already at the high day, we're pretty extended on this name. Kind of have to manage that a little differently. Yeah, guys. Sorry. And then when we pulled back, our strike price moved. So on a Thursday, I'm never playing out the money cons on a Thursday and Friday. Never. So when we pulled back, our strike price was no longer at the money. It was one strike out of the money. Okay, nice. We want to see this hold. We want to see that hold. Yeah, nice. Yeah, see, I managed to trade very differently. Just look how extended we are. It's a very like this is a very big move. Oh, okay. Ah, sorry, Jason. I know it was a very quick move. I know it was a very quick move. That was the only downside I didn't like is that we're pretty extended. I'm looking at Tesla here as well. Give me one sec. It's a 440. The only thing is now I'm starting to spot relative weakness on Tesla compared to the overall market. Tesla is a little bit compressed today. Yeah, Nvidia is actually, I'm sorry, not Nvidia, AMD is actually holding up. It's just hard to hold that when we're already extended and sitting at the high day. Wow, yeah. Trying to read Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's like in sync now with Qs, which I'm not really fond of. AMD was a solid trade, just very extended. See, the thing about Tesla is Tesla on average moves 15 to 20. We've barely moved, right, and done anything. It's not the cleanest price action right now in Tesla as well. Yeah, so I know the AMD trade was like very, very fast. If it was a Monday or Tuesday, could look to hold that. But on a Thursday and our contracts are close to the expiration, it's hard to sit in that. And then we pull all the way back down. And then that maybe sets up. Yeah, AMD looks good. I am looking at Tesla. Like we can mess around with Tesla a little bit. Let me see. It's just you can see the relative strength on AMD compared to Tesla. Tesla's in sync with Qs right now. Surprisingly, these contracts move decent. It was like a base hit for me. Like I sold for 10%, but I really wanted obviously this move. So our thesis was correct. I know it just happened very fast. Break, retest, and now you can see that. But when we're already sitting near the high day and these rejections start to kick in on an intraday resistance level on the 5 minute right here, that's why I sold here once I saw seller starts to step in. And you can see we actually push all the way back down again. And then now we finally got that pop. So I just managed that a little differently since we're at the end of the week and these contracts are a bit more volatile. But this was like the big move we were looking for. All right, so see what I mean here on Tesla? You can see NVIDIA and you can see AMD, and then look at Tesla. See what I mean? So like that's a good skip, right? Just understanding the market context here. This is a good skip. Reason we took this is clearly the relative strength here on this name. And then, like I said, I wanted to see this resistance. I'd love to see that turn into support, and that's exactly what we saw. It's just unfortunate that we were already so extended on this name when we got this set up. Like, look at this. We opened down here, 227.36, and right now the high day is 237.58. 227. Yeah, that's a big like this is a big move on AMD, right? A $10 plus day, that's a very big move on AMD. Tesla hasn't even done that so far. So pretty unfortunate. We kind of got stalled out here. Sorry, I know that move was like really, really fast. I'm trying to watch Tesla for you guys, but I don't want you guys to enter a crappy setup. See, the thing I'm not liking about Tesla is it's in sync with Qs. So this bounce you see on Tesla, you're seeing a low day bounce right now on QQQ. That's not what I'm not very fond of because this is what Tesla's doing. Wait one sec. This is what Tesla's doing on the intraday. Look what Nvidia's doing, right? Look what AMD's doing. These names are trending higher. We are bullish bias on Tesla, but it's not showing me relative strength compared to QQQ. And like this lower day bounce or this big candle here, that's not on Tesla. That's Q's bouncing off his lower day and SPY. Jason, did you play the give me one sec. Was it the 237, 232.50 calls you were able to get in on? Sucks we got stalled out right here because these contracts are like two strike prices in the money now. Well, technically one strike because we played at the money cons, so never mind. But still. Did you get in late or did it fill you late? I remember you had that problem before, like when you tried to get in, but it filled you super late. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my fill on my AMD cons were a little delayed, a little bit. Oh, okay, okay. So oh, okay. I was just gonna ask, do you do market? Yeah, that's good. No, you as well. Like, remember you having that problem with limit orders? So market's gonna get you in and out. The only way I really mess with a limit order, and this is very rare, is like if we're messing around with a name that has very wide spreads. If the spreads are pretty wide, then I'll probably look around to mess around with a limit order. But in this case, the names that we trade, the spreads are always gonna be tight. So you never have to worry about that. Nice. And yeah, I hate that AMD set up, but just set up the way that it did. Remember, folks, this is always going to be easy to say in hindsight, but we're so extended, already $10, and then we're pushing into this intraday resistance level. We break above, we reject, we pull all the way back, but then we finally get that. So if it's a one-to-one type thing like this, if it's a Monday, Tuesday, or even a Wednesday, I'll sit in that. And you guys always hear me say, I'll accept my loss here. I don't care. I'll let this play out. But on a Thursday, where those contracts are moving pretty volatile, and you get a nice move in your favor, you're gonna get paid very well. Because just on this little hit, right? That was 10% for me. But of course, right, on any normal day, we're looking for this. But towards the end of the week, right, we got to be on defense. We have to, just because we don't have time in our favor. So theta decay is like a very real thing, right? We're getting closer to expiration. So now you guys know how I trade. This would still be my stop loss. Like I said, I'll never sell at peak high or peak low. I need the market to tell me when to exit. And the only way to be in a day where it's trending is, right, we got to pull back and hold market structure. So, right, if this gives up, then we're pretty much just out. But you want to see this hold, push into here, and then that hold. It's just unfortunate how fast that happened. That was like a really fast trade. I'm glad you caught Apple yesterday, Jason. Sucks I got squeezed out before those cons ran like 40%. That was a really good trade. Yeah, AMD looks like it wants to start trending. So guys, I skipped this just because like this is Q's. This is Q's bouncing. The price action really isn't that clean on Tesla. Let's see. Nice. Okay, yeah, the price action really isn't that clean on Tesla. And out of every name, Tesla's like the one that if it's a Friday or a Thursday, I'm being very careful. I've learned my lesson in the past. So go here on the 15. You can see it's pretty just wiki here on the 15. The real move has been 442. I'm around that to 70. And you can see right now this 15 minutes rejecting that. So we basically got $2 and some change breakout here, displacement on Tesla. Super solid, right? It did hold our key level, this 440.40. They held that beautifully. But that lower day bounce on Qs is this as well. So that tells me, okay, this is not Tesla doing this on its own. It's the overall market bouncing. And then, if Qs wants to pull back, I can expect that on Tesla as well. So pretty unfortunate. Definitely sucks. All right, so definitely probably would have cut this here on AMD. Like I said, AMD is very extended. Just trying to give you guys context here. Like at the end of the day, this is Qs, right? Just really not doing much. We are still above the previous day high, but this pulling back, that's all the gap. This is filling the gap. Like this is actually a good thing. It is pretty annoying, but it's a good thing. So see that? We still got this gap to fill. And then if that can step up there, then we can see that. So that's one of the main reasons, like in the past, I'm not a big fan of when the market gaps up. Because sure, it's like, okay, cool, we're moving higher. But I know, all right, man, well, we do have to pull back. And that's going to affect a lot of these tech names as well. Man, yeah, AMD was a tricky one. That was a hard one. This thing's starting to try and trend higher. Yeah, that's definitely a tricky one. That sucks. I'll sit here. We'll sit here too. Let's see what sets up 7:30. Like I want to see, Tesla pull back and hold this, but on its own. That's the thing. You can see kind of still making lower lows on the intraday. We really haven't broken structure, right? Like this would be a structure break. So we haven't gotten that yet. So that means this is still in play. Pull back long off of 440.40. But a main key lesson here that I want to show you is this is why we avoid channels. Like AMD has been trash in between 225 and 203. It's done nothing but move sideways. And now, right, we break outside of a channel. Look at the price action. Nice and trendy. High probability setup. I really wanted this, so we just have to be patient. This may set up tomorrow. It may set up in a couple of days. But we can't forget, we gapped up, but we still do need to retest this 225. So this trade that we played, this was a gap and go, right? Price just continued higher. We played the gap and go off a key level, moved higher. Beautiful analysis by us. Like our key level got respected on the dot. Can't make that up. Just on the dot. Sucks. We stalled a little bit, and then we ended up getting the real move. Those contracts are pretty volatile, so it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. But I kind of just want to explain, like, that's why we avoid channels, and we just let our trades come to us. Let's see, kind of want to see that hold. Yeah, this was a tricky play. TMI earning last night. Probably why these tech stocks are strong. Yeah, that's true. I was looking at that as well. Because a name like that can definitely cause a ripple effect on a good amount of these tech names. Let's see what sets up here. And this is a big deal that's crazy. Yeah, see, sometimes that's the hard part about playing names like this, because it's so extended, right? Like, okay, pullback's gonna come soon. I saw it reject the intraday resistance level, right? But this is like a big move today on AMD. Yeah, we've already moved basically $10.65 for AMD. That's a big deal. That is a very big deal for a name like that. It's kind of crazy. So far, a solid week. Took a good trade on Monday on Nvidia. And Tuesday was a cash day. Yesterday, Apple. I'm glad, Jason, you won that trade. Today, base hit, good hit on AMD. So I have to see. Monday was pretty much like the best price action day, really, so far this week. That was like the only day Tesla gave us a setup. Um, yeah, Tesla has been kind of dry this week. Wow, this is wild. Just from 234 up to here. And buyers are really in control here on AMD. If anything, I'm surprised the IB wasn't as high as it was, or wasn't higher. QQQ, yeah, Q's a 7. Yeah, this one's just unfortunate timing, just with the market, right? This is a definition of like skipping a trade. It's just unfortunate timing. Beautiful, right? Like weeks to the damage, body tells the story. It held our 440, very nice, right? Let's break, pull back long, retest. But the context of the market did not like that. I did not like that one single bit. Like this tank, same thing as Apple yesterday. That's the same candle on Tesla. I'm sorry, on QQQ. And then this previous candle right after that, that's the same candle on QQQ. So since Q's is moving lower and these two names were in sync when this set up, I just did not like it. It just wasn't worth the risk for me. Right? Easy to say in hindsight. Man, yeah, just did his job. Definitely did his job. All our key levels did their job today. AMD, Tesla. Tesla was a bit of a harder read. We clearly saw relative strength here on AMD compared to the overall market, and then nothing on Nvidia. Nvidia's just in no man's land. Yeah, it's just in no man's land. Like this, man, that is a gap. That's a very big gap. A lot of these names gapped up today. I know that did. Right, guys, these are plays that's setting up. So we just can't let FOMO kick in. We still need to retest this 225. This is a very important level. And then, like, if this thing just wants to stay strong, that's fine. We'll see if we can get a daily candle close with proper displacement. And then coming into tomorrow, just looking for that. Pull back long off of this. It's the same thing. But crazy 4 days here on AMD. This thing has just been ripping, just stair stepping. So I wouldn't be surprised if soon we hit a little bit of a consolidation period, a little bit of a cool off period, I should say. Let's see. As long as you missed it, no, that's fine, right? Like cash is still a position, still a position. This was a tough trade to take just because we were so extended and we're already at the top of the range and our swing high to target really wasn't that far away. So it was definitely a tough trade, right? We took our shot, but it was definitely a tough trade to take. So you just got to use days like this, like for confidence, like this, seeing my key levels be respected on the dot. That's why, like you always hear me say, 8 times out of 10, I'm gonna win my trade. I know that. Like my data tells me that. Right? Just be patient, sit on my hands, trust my levels, and right, that's what happens. Sucks this was a little too extended. Easily would have been able to ride that like on a Monday or Tuesday, but on a Thursday, right now we're on defense going into the end of the week. But seeing my key levels just get hit on the dot, right, that should give us confidence, like moving forward all the time. I would have preferred Tesla over AMD, to be honest, because as we know, Tesla's going to pay us more. It moves better on the underlying. Like I got this push into the high day here on AMD, a little bit over $1, almost two, right? A $4 play on Tesla, right? We already know those contracts are going to do backflips, especially on a Thursday, right? With momentum. This was just straight up. Only had one down close candle within that. So just straight up. Probably would have cut my runners here. Got to let market structure take you out. It's a beautiful trade on AMD. Just sucky conditions on where it was at. But I hope this makes sense, guys. Like in the future, there's going to be times where we do get a nice setup. And if we're so extended, like for an example, Apple or AMD or even NVIDIA, where I know it doesn't move that much on the underlying, I'm gonna skip that trade because I'm like, we've already moved $12, right? Instead of it happens right at open, we've only moved $2 and then we get a break and retest. Very different scenarios. So this was tricky for me, right? I accepted my risk right under here, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, we're very extended right now. Today's just a really good day on AMD, surprisingly, just a really, really good day. But yeah, Jason, moving forward, just stick with market orders as well. It save you a lot of time because there's times where I've tried to like sell limit and I'm not getting filled, which is very annoying, very, very annoying. I'm not sure how good Webull is. I've never used it, but I know it's a common one. Like, is it a click of like are you able to get in and out of trades like here on TOS? I'm very curious on that. Man, this was a nice hold on Tesla. That sucks. Okay, nice. That's good. That's good. I think that might seem set up on Apple. Yeah, so nothing set up on Apple. Did good. No trade zone. We're looking for our two key levels. Never got hit. Inside bar did as well. So we did good, like having our main three be our close watch. Like even though this was a winning trade, I really would have preferred this trade. This is just a way. This is 10 times better. Like I'm always gonna watch Tesla. Always, always, always. Me personally, Jason, me personally, I would say that's a good thing. Oh, okay, okay. I think I don't know if you're able to do it on Webull, but on Thinkorswim, TOS, Charles Schwab, all the same thing. You can change your account to like a cash account, and you're not limited on the trades that you can take. You can only trade the amount of money that you have in your account, which is a cash account. I know what you're talking about. Like it only limits you to like maybe 3 trades a day or something like 3 trades in a week or something like that. But if you switch it to a cash account, you don't have to worry about that. You can take as many trades as you want as long as you have the cash in your account. I hope I explained that pretty well. But all you need is one trade a day. All you need is one trade a day. But still, I definitely understand what you're saying. Oh, okay, okay. Oh man, I didn't even know that's a day trading rule. It's crazy. Yeah, slow day here. So moving forward for tomorrow, guys, it's really the same thing. It just depends on how these names close. Beautiful analysis here on Tesla, right? We held our water here, right? It's you see it pulling back, you see buyer stepping in, you're like, should I? But right, this was the solid trade, right? That was the solid trade there. I just didn't like the context with the market. So these are still plays setting up tremendously for tomorrow. Like AMD, just going to be two things going into tomorrow, right? It's going to be either a break and retest over, this 234. I doubt it. We won't know until we know, but this is still our A plus shot, right? Pull back long, 225. So we'll be waiting for that as well. Tesla, depending on how today closes, it's only been an hour, anything can happen. Um, Tesla as well. This would just be a pullback long off of 440 going into tomorrow. It's been the same thing. Right, see, we get a daily candle closure above here, that's solid. So it'd be a pullback long off of that or break and retest over 449. This happened on the dot though, which is what I really was looking for. I wanted to see the wick of the daily candle form under that. This is a weekly level. And today, respected beautifully on the dot. Not the best price action, not the best conditions. Uh, I didn't spot any relative strength on this name compared to the market, so I just didn't like it. But with one down close candle, we got from here to the top of the range. That's a big payday. So that's why I said I kind of prefer Tesla over that. Yeah, that's textbook. Right, so we can't let FOMO kick in. Be down. And then yeah, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA tomorrow, I'm looking for this as well. Like we'll see what happens. It's still such a big gap to fill. We need this retest. We need this pullback retest off of 184.50. We broke it. Still need to retest. We cannot forget that. So we'll see what happens here on the video going into tomorrow. This is the main objective, which is a little frustrating, but this is like our main. We got to get out of this channel on Qs. We have to. Let me go here. Uh, this is such a big deal. We can start to see. I mean, today was a nice trendy day on AMD, but as soon as we can get over this, that is a big deal. Now we can start to see names like Apple, Tesla, like start giving us some beautiful price action and like nice trendy days. Remember, if the market's stuck in a channel, we can't be surprised when a lot of these other names aren't doing too well. I think that is about it. Really nothing else I see setting up here. Really wish I was able to get Tesla. Nothing on the video, obviously. Yeah, that might be it for today. Where did this go to? Yeah, that was on the dot, 440. We pushed all the way up to 4465. Just crazy. Yeah. Man, just one of those days. Not the best price action, but that was clean. That was really clean. Hmm. Man, yeah. Yeah, Tesla reclaims this. This thing may start to, if this can get over the high day, this thing could start to trend. You can get over, yeah. This thing could start to trend. See, we do got some resistance sitting here. If we can do that, I mean, that's crazy. That's exactly what we're looking for. Yeah. And then remember, guys, like moving forward, like for future references, like if you're ever unsure, right? Because I'm not always going to be here. Just if you're ever unsure and you take a trade, just remember what I'm teaching you. As long as if you're in a trade, as long as you're sitting above the key level that you're risking off of, your thesis is correct. Your thesis is correct. So even though we pulled back, right? I'm reading like market structure, like man, we're going to push into the high day. We're very extended. The market's pulling back. Right? Very different. But if you're ever unsure, right, you got to tell yourself, all right, well, I'm still sitting above the key level I'm risking off of. So my thesis on this trade is still correct. It's still correct. So just remember that. Because as you can see, right, our stop loss never got hit. Never got hit. I didn't like the high day rejection and the resistance on the 5 minute. Very different, but you can see this thing held. We did pull back here a little bit. Those contracts definitely went red. I think that's what you're referring to as well, Jason. Um, and then ended up getting stopped out. I think you probably stopped out here, Jason. Then this thing kind of went higher. This is just a tricky play, though. This is just a tricky play, right? It's hard to play names like AMD or Apple when they're so extended. It's definitely it's tricky. That was a tricky play. I know it happened very quick. So there's nothing here. So now you guys see right on the 5 minute why I always mark out the body. The body is the real story. That's the real liquidity. See what I mean? Like these wicks, I don't care about. I don't really care about. So you enter here, right? This would be a candle we entered on, right? We ended up holding, right? This. See what I mean? Ended up holding that, moving higher. And then you just want to see this thing continue to stair step higher. So it's a little difficult or different when the market's just not in your favor. Yeah, good, Jason. Like today was a winning day, right? You're practicing good habits, like reading the market very well. Like those are all the little things. Right? You don't want to enter a trade and just like, all right, break and retest. I'm taking the trade. It's the little things. Okay, what's the high? Like we look at the IV prior to entering the trade, right? Like, okay, the IV is not too elevated. We can look at this. It's Thursday. Let's play at the money cost. It's a little extended, so we got to be cautious here. We can't be greedy. Look to sit. We got to take our profits. If we're seeing it start to stall, all right, we're out. So, like what you did today, like that's A plus trading, right? Those are building good habits for the long term, right? And then it's a little tricky, like yesterday, right? That's why you have to treat every trade differently because I know you sold Apple for a win yesterday for like 10%, and then it ended up running for like 40%. You know what I mean? So it's like when you come into a following day, you kind of got to ignore that because like today, these contracts went up 10%. So it's like you're sitting there like, oh man, well, this happened yesterday on Apple. Should I hold? Should I do this? Got to treat them differently. So today was like, nope, we're very extended. We're stalling at the high day. Let me not be greedy. Let me get out. They're very different versus yesterday, right? You saw me hold that. I held through that. It's very different. So I hope that makes sense. So what you did today was good. Like that's what you want to do. Like, all right, we're pretty extended on this name. So I'm gonna be a little cautious here. I don't really like that. But in my opinion, I think it's a good thing that you can only take one trade a day. That's all you need. That's all you need to make money. One trade a day. That's pretty much our average anyway, right? We only pretty much take one a day. And that's been doing very well for us. So I'm just trying to teach you guys, right? Less is more. You don't need two, three shots. So I think just a nice day. So going into tomorrow, I'm hoping Tesla. I want Tesla to stay strong here. Let's look at this on the daily. Super solid here on the daily. Super solid here on the daily. This sets up tomorrow. This is an A plus shot. That is an A plus shot. You can see the dip was here. Buyer stepped up. And now look at that. That's why I really wanted Tesla. This is what I mean when I say you're getting in at the bottom of the range before you get to the top of the range. So if we caught Tesla off at 440, we basically just caught the bottom. Those are the best trades because when you catch the bottom, Your stop loss is the low a day. Very easy here. And look at that. It just sucks that QQQ looks like this. Like this is Qs on the intraday. That's terrible. That sucks. But like I said, right, we're still stuck in a range. So we know the cons to our system, which is channels and consolidations. And this is exactly why. That's all Qs is doing. That's terrible. So it's hard to get a read on these names. The only reason I took AMD is because I saw for a fact it had relative strength compared to QQQ. Right at the moment when this set up, this did not have relative strength. This was pulling back with the Qs, and a couple of these candles in real time was just mirroring what the Qs were doing. So I didn't like it. So this was just like a good meaning of skipping a trade. Man, yeah, AMD's good. So definitely gonna call it here, guys. Pretty much it was a very strong open. I think you're right, Jason, just based on the earnings from TSM that it had. A lot of these tech names are popping. Very strong on all our tech names except for Apple. Except for Apple. AMD, NVIDIA, Qs and SPY all gapped up. They all gapped up, except for Tesla. So these are still some big plays setting up. Once this can get out of the channel, our foot is on the gas. Our foot is on the gas, right? We had a great December being patient, letting all our trades come to us. So far, this month has been good. But once we can get outside of this channel, then we can take off. There's nothing in its way. We saw what happened 2 days ago. We pushed up and just saw that, right? The day before that. So this range that's the tricky part on Qs right now, which is pretty surprising because this is SPY. Like SPY is not that far away again from all-time highs. Now SPY's stalling a little bit, and I broke this down yesterday. On a technical standpoint, now it is about 4 to 5 days sitting in between here and here, but that is normal because we've been stair-stepping higher, right? We've been making all-time highs. So, right, consolidation, that's normal in a name that's trending higher before we see our next leg higher. So that's expected on SPY. And even look today, right? This thing gapped up. We're not that far away. It's starting to become a hammer stick candle. We still got a couple of hours to market close. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing makes a new all-time high today, which is crazy. So there's just definitely a lag on the Qs compared to SPY. Like Qs kind of has some ways to go. It's not too far, but it definitely has some ways to go. Like I said, if you look at the bottom, it's been since Halloween. We have been over 629.05 since then. So it's been a very long time, a very, very long time. We just need to get over that. It's a range break as well. Yeah, now AMD, I think, is going to start to stall. It's already done more than we anticipated on the day. So now if it starts to do this, that's normal, right? This thing is so extended, I'm surprised it moved as much as it did. So now, yeah, we got some big plays setting up for tomorrow and for the future, to be honest. Just got to be patient like we've been doing. It's been a solid month so far, just letting all our trades come to us. So we'll continue to do that. So I'm going to call it here, guys. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.